All right, this lesson's about algorithms, and we're going to talk a lot about procedures with parameters and repeat blocks. And I'm going to give you an assignment to do a bunch of things. So the first thing is procedures with parameters. So parameters is information a procedure needs to do its job. And a procedure, we can drag a procedure out, and let's just name this one draw square. Okay, and we can put a bunch of blocks in here, and whenever we call draw square after that, it'll do all those blocks. Okay. And we in the last lesson we went over some of those. Now a parameter means you can kind of let the caller have some power over what kind of square or what kind of action the procedure does. Okay, so I'm going to add this input and I'm going to call it L, and it's going to basically be the length of the sides of the square. Okay, and so I've got a parameter called L, and now someone can call draw square. Okay, let's see where it is. You always look in here to find your stuff. So I can now call draw square and put like 40 in there. Okay, and once I create this procedure, it'll create a square of 40. Or I could put 20, it'll create a square of 20. So it makes things much easier than to have to call, just have different squares, different functions for different sizes of square. Okay, so how do I draw a square of length of sides of length L? Okay, well, with this lesson, unlike the last one, the forward block is parameterized. So if I expand this, you can see the forward block has the number of pixels. And you don't need to worry about the details of the forward command at this point. But if you look in here and find the call forward block, it's going to allow you to tell it how many pixels you want to do. Okay, so I could say call forward, and I could say how many pixels I want to give it. So if I want a square of size 40, I could stick a 40 in there. Okay, really what I'm going to do is want to stick L in there because that's going to be what the caller, when they call draw square, they're going to give us the size of each side. Now, I could just basically copy this 4 times, and let's just do that. Okay, call forward, and call forward. Okay, and this would just go forward. If I gave it a 10, it would go forward 10, 10, 10, 40 times. Now, of course, I need my turn, and the turn is also in this app is parameterized. And I still want to just, for a square, of course, I want to turn 90 degrees. Okay, its parameters what degrees you want to turn. Okay, so I could just copy that guy and copy him again. Oops, I didn't mean to copy the whole procedure. Copy turn again. And basically every time I move forward, do a turn. So I think I've now got a draw square. Okay, the way I'm going to call it is go grab draw square. All right. Actually, I already grabbed one, so let's grab this guy. And in the draw function, I can say whatever size I want for my square. I'll just put a 30 in there. Okay, so I'm saying I want to draw a square, send 30 as the parameter L, and then in the procedure, I use that L, that 30 in this case, to draw my stuff. So let's try it. I'm going to press draw, which should call this draw procedure, which should call draw square with the 30. Okay, I touch draw, and I hide the Android man. And there's my square of size 30. Okay, so we're getting a little better now. Instead of having to write all these different procedures for drawing squares of different size, I can just use this one that has a single parameter and a single procedure to do any size square. Okay, so that's kind of how parameters work. The second thing I want to show you is about repeat blocks. Okay, and you're going to use this for each block. Okay, for each number block. And instead of doing this stuff, notice all these are exactly the same. Instead of doing all that stuff, we're just going to put this stuff in here. Okay, and with this for each from 1 to whatever, what that means is do this stuff a number of times. And basically for this range. Okay, in this case, we don't want it to do 5 times, we want it to do 4. And so for 1 to 4, and we don't care about this number really, other than we want to make sure we go through this 4 times. It's going to loop 4 times. And if I reset draw you'll see I still get the same square. Okay, so two things. We can parameterize our procedures, and that way the caller can provide information that really makes this procedure more general purpose, right? That's an important point. And then we can repeat blocks with this for each block and just stick stuff in there, and we know it's just gonna repeat. Okay. Now, okay, so I've given you kind of one of your solutions, but your assignment is I want you to draw some squares of different sizes. Okay, using the in building a parameterized draw square. Then I want you to think about drawing a triangle. Okay, or draw a shape with 5 or 7 or 9 sides. All right, how would you do that? Okay, and then finally think about can you build a draw polygon? How would you maybe add another parameter to have a single procedure draw a polygon which draws a square, triangle, depending on what parameters you give it, it'll draw a different thing. And just to show you, I've got this draw polygon procedure, and I can call it. Okay, I'm not going to show you that procedure. I'm just going to show you it working, and I can give it any length. Okay, so I'm going to make let's make the length bigger, 40. Okay, and I can make my sides however many sides I want. I'll just make the sides 8. Okay, and now when I test this, I'm going to reset and then touch draw. I get this 8-sided polygon. Okay, so kind of your final assignment is going to is build a draw polygon procedure.